Hello, everyone. My name is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics Explained. And yet again, I brought on another fantastic group of comic book professionals or independent publishers, whatever the hell you want to call these guys. All right. But anyway, here's Jay.
Hello! Lo. Look at that. Look at that. I'm not the only one who blows his intros. Look at that.
I do it once in a while.
Even seasoned professionals like yourself just bloop, bloop.
I'm seasoned. I don't know about professional, though.
Well, I don't think any of us can say, we're got that professional polish, right? Mm-hmm. We came up on our own, believing in ourselves, put our money where our mouth is, and building a nice little catalog of work over the years, right?
That's true, because all the seasoning I consists of salt, pepper, and vinegar. So
Why don't you bring in the people who have been seasoned besides using salt, pepper, and vinegar? Okay.
What are you talking about? This is Tom. He's the same thing.
I'm pretty sure Calderon is the salt, Rosario is the pepper, and I am the vinegar. There's no question that's how that breaks down.
There we go. All right, so let's bring it with someone with a little bit of honey in him. What's up, Mr.
What are you talking about? There's fish. That's what we season. Yeah, I mean, come on, bro. You blew it. It was an easy setup. Salt, pepper, vinegar, and fish. And
I'm saying it goes together, man. It does fit. As much as I stand against cracks on my name most of the time, that's pretty good.
Sorry, I'm not trying to. I just figured you were in theme for the night, brother. You in theme?
Oh yeah, it fits. It absolutely fits.
Yeah, and to be honest, not really vinegar. It's better like something lemon or lime. It's a little more citrusy.
No, you got to put a touch of vinegar in there.
A little bit.
Just like barbecue gets a touch of apple cider vinegar in there. Come on, man.
True.
Come on.
Well, you're the cooking guy, so I can't even debate.
I am the cooking guy. I am the cooking guy.
So.
Yes.
We also got on Mr. Dan Sehn. What's up, Dan?
And I am the sugar. I am the man of the hour. Too sweet to be sour. That was a old pro wrestling thing that I used to cut. But Dan Sehn, Argo Comics, and Thunder Zone.
All right. Cool.
What's up, Dan?
And we also got John. What's up, John?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Right.
Been a minute. How you been?
What's that?
So it's been a minute. How you been?
Oh, it's been a while. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. All right. So introduce yourself. Let everybody know where you're from or what you've done or both.
Me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm John Escobales. I'm from Connecticut. I write for GWP and I do a lot of freelance stuff. And that's it. I write, I sing in bands, I get into trouble.
Nice.
Oh, there's JD. What's up, dude? Or Jay. My bad.
What's up, bro? How you doing, bro?
All right. How you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for reaching out to me online, man. I appreciate it.
How you doing?
You're welcome. Yeah. Thank you.
And look, I forget them all the time too. It's okay.
No, my dude, without these glasses, I can barely see you guys, and it's so small on my phone right now. I gotta figure it all out.
All right, cool. All right, everybody. So I'm pretty sure I don't know if everyone's seen the show question. But the show question is: can indie comics become a larger part of the market? And there's a second part to the question because it's too damn long for the whole thing up there. And how would you accomplish such a task?
Oh, wow.
Right. So the way this works is last man in, first man up. John, you're in the hot seat.
Wow, that was rough.
That's actually
can they become? What was the question? More mainstream, or?
Well, yeah, it's referring to can indie comics become a larger portion of the direct market?
Well, if they're going to do it, now's the time, I think. Mm-hmm. It seems like, a lot of books from the big two seem to be stumbling and struggling. The companies themselves, if you believe the rumors and all the news stories, they're struggling. So yeah, I think they can. I think now's a good time to do it. How?
Right. Yes.
Now, how would you go about that? That's the tricky part. We live in chaotic times. I don't know the answer to that one.
All right. Fair enough. Dan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there's talk of them farming out their books to different companies. I think that'll perhaps be a blow to the big companies, big two, if they do that. And there's, speculation on with this whole Warner Brothers purchase that maybe at some point Marvel will just drop the money and buy DC and be printing their books, and that'll, I think they would have to shrink the marketplace for themselves if they did that, which would again just lead to more space for the indies. And the indies are on the rise, according to the numbers anyway. A lot of that's happening in the Asian market. So as far as, our particular segment, maybe not, but worldwide, it would lead to a bigger chunk of the marketplace for the indies. So, yeah, I think it could quite possibly happen.
All right, cool. Mr. Fish, what are your thoughts?
I think it can happen. And I mean, we see some things pop up like that, and places like Netflix and stuff jumping at buying the rights to books on like the first issue and stuff of some of the stuff that pops off. But I think that also has a lot to do with luck and like social media presence and stuff. Like, you got to be right place, right time with enough of a following that any of the bigger indie publishers want to take a shot on you. And man, that's like catching lightning in a bottle. So I think it happens and it's going to keep happening, but how do we get there? I don't know.
All right, Mr. Answers.
Okay, well, this is where the vinegar comes in, guys.
There you go.
This is where the vinegar comes
answer.
in. The answer is no, guys. Let's be real. The answer is no for the large segment of. And again, we always have to define what the indie market is, right? Like, there's a big difference even between what we are in the indie market and what like Image is in the indie market or Dark Horse or whatever. So it's sort of a determination. I'm kind of taking this from a anybody but Image sort of level, for sort of this answer. It's the reason that Marvel and DC are what they are is because they have 80 years of mass market, pop culture driven toys, movies, TV shows, cartoons, everything. They will eternally, as long as they want to be there, they will eternally be the top. Anybody else below that really requires, I mean, the only reason that Image existed in the way that it did is because all those guys left Marvel and DC and became this conglomerate, but they were already well known. If we all got together and told the world that Rosario and Calderon and Hutchison and Mr. Fish, we're all going to make the new publishing company, no one would care.
Right.
Okay. So
dozens of people would care.
Dozens. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, our moms would care, but really probably nobody else. Probably nobody else. So the only way that we can sort of bump up in the comic book world is one of two ways. One is to move ourselves up into the larger spaces, like in Image Comics. Like if Image would say, yes, Tom will publish Critter now, that would bump me up into that space. But that doesn't bring indie comics up. The only way for indie comics to come up as a whole, really in my mind, is particularly in the world that we live in now, is exactly how Invincible did it. You have to get your property from a comic book into something else, a movie, a TV show, something else where the general public will see it, hopefully enjoy it. And then there's a trickle down effect. And it's happened with Invincible. Like, holy crap, did it happen with Invincible? But for every Invincible, there's also the Umbrella Academy. There's no race to the comic book store for Umbrella Academy. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it got a bump, but no one's talking about that anymore. There's plenty of comic book things that become things, and there's really not a trickle down effect for it like there was with Invincible. I don't really know why. I have no answer for why Invincible blew up in that regard versus some of the other things. But that's really it. I mean, we have to be able to move out of comic books into pop culture in order for them to realize that there is a comic to be raised up within the industry as a whole. So I think the only thing that we can do, and even then, when you're talking about moving up into some of these companies, how many companies have we're talking about indies expanding? I'm watching companies go under. Aftershock's gone.
AWA.
Well, they're still around. They're still around, but barely. But Dark Horse just got bought. We don't know what they are. Valiant got bought. They've been in and out and coming.
Bad
around.
Idea.
There's so many publishing companies that came up. Scout, who knows what Scout's doing right now?
TKO.
Now the distillery stuff, we don't know what that is. So we keep hearing like there's this expansion, but at the same time of like there's some hits, there's a massive contraction of some of these publishers. So it's sort of a stalemate. I feel like where we're at right now. It's not like we're in a bad position. The doors are open. Pop culture and social media and the ability to talk to people and get your stuff in front of eyeballs is all there, but it's a proven track record of massive difficulty to take the next step. And even if you take that step, there's no guarantee of the comic book side really, getting a pop.
Fair enough. Jay, what are your thoughts?
Tom took my answer. So I'm gonna workshop something on the fly.
Come on, Mr. Pepper. Find something. Put a little spice on it.
Bring the heat. Do we need to? Do we need to? Right? Do we want to go into the larger market and give up 60% plus, right, of our sticker price? If we're not doing the volume that we need to keep going for the long run, I think. I don't want to use the phrase "stay in our lane," but we're not answering to anybody, right? We're our own bosses. We're doing things the way we want to do. We're steering the ship, whether it's in circles, right, in a direction, whether we're sinking it, whatever. At least we're doing it to our own beat, right? We don't have to say that somebody else had a hand in the decision making of our product and steering it in the wrong direction. And I think that comes with being part of the larger market. The better question is, do we need to? And I don't think we do. All right, but then like Tom,
that's a good point.
Right, like Tom said, we also got to define, are we the crowdfunding market? Are we the indie market? Right. Or like what Lorraine is saying in the comments, right? At what point do you stop utilizing the term to define indie, right? When you have major VC money behind Image, are they still indie, right? It's Dark Horse because they're part of the Swedish video game group Embracer. Are they still indie, right? Bad Idea. Dinesh had all of this Hollywood money behind him with both Valiant and with Bad Idea. Does that make them indie, right? Or is indie the ones that are bootstrapping it themselves? So,
all right, that's fair. To counterpoint you, I mean, the thing is what are you satisfied with, right? Maybe I reminisce a little bit too much about the past, but then again, we all do, right? We all suffer from that, right? Jay, you have it with G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Tom has it with Jaws.
Yeah.
I have it with multiple comic things. But one of the things I do reminisce about is I remember a time when independents could make a little bit of headway in the direct market, right? I was there when independent comic books could sell 5,000-10,000 copies, 15,000, 20,000 copies. I get Randy on here. He can tell you about times where they sold 40,000 copies over an era, right? Are those days gone? Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, they're gone. Yeah,
they're gone. But is there a smidge of an opportunity for us to at least get to maybe 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 copies in the direct market, right? We're not talking huge numbers. Those are not big numbers.
Well, that already exists. There's a lot of publishers that'll do 3,000 or 3,000 units at
right, but I'm talking about
retail.
Smaller publishers like us, right?
Yeah, we're a step down. Yes.
Right. So we're talking about, there was a time when the market had more self-publishers, because that's basically what we all are. We're all self-publishers pretty much for the most part, right? So you had more guys like, I'm going to say the names that everybody already knows, but there were others that maybe they didn't know as well. Guys like Dave Sim, Terry Moore, Jeff Smith, right? These are individuals who are printing their own books. They don't have a line. They usually have one book, and that's what they've done. And they did it for a long time successfully, and they were able to finance themselves through life. Dave Sim did 300 issues all on his own, right? For a short while, he had a small publishing company, but he gave that up like early on, and he just focused on his own work, right? Jeff Smith spun it off, got into Scholastic, became a huge hit. Terry Moore, that dude, just an animal all on his own, and he's not the only one. There were several others. You'd have to give me time to do the research and find them all, but they're back there though, right? So why is it that that's been closed off to us? So that's where I'm coming from. I do think there's an opportunity.
Well, I don't think it's closed off. I think it's just the state of the market.
Right.
Back in the day when those guys were doing it, the 80s and the 90s, comics were a thing. They were in the general awareness of pop culture. Rob Liefeld was on the freaking Tonight Show. I mean, people understood comics existed, and there were a lot more stores. I mean, there were like at least double the amount of stores that there are now, easily doubled. So
and a whole lot less books to compete with because there's a bigger barrier to getting into it. So it wasn't as easy as just anybody who wants to make a book can make one. And then you got to compete with them all on a level playing field.
I think these days on a direct market, you kind of have to have a big success going in to make any headway, like, in your crowdfunding, in your social media, in some type of cross promotion that you've already made some noise. Because when it comes down to it, us, being in the catalog and the comic retailer deciding between ordering 5 issues of Argo 5 as opposed to 5 more issues of Spider-Ham Peter Porker Adventures or whatever, they're going to go in that direction. They already know that those sales are like a better bet than an unknown indie. And there's so much already coming out from the big companies that I think everyone's ordering conservatively. If there is extra money, there's going to be a few more going towards Dark Horse or Image or something like that, or some marginal Big 2 title. I don't think it's, realistically going towards orders of one of our unknown indies, unless, again, people are filling out their previews and marking it down to the point where there's enough volume of that they don't mark it as canceled.
Right. Well, unfortunately, we don't have previews anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. We don't even have that.
Whatever's there for, yes.
We don't even have a catalog anymore. Yeah.
Right. There's not even that anymore. So that's the craziest thing. I mean, you got a Marvel catalog, DC. I think Dark Horse is producing one, IDW, and boom, they all have their own catalogs. The rest of us, we ain't got jack. Right. And that includes Oni, was it Red 5, AP? There's a bunch of them. Right. So it's like, a bunch of people not missing anything. I still think there's an opportunity, but that still remains to be seen. So anyway, Jay, you're up.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to turn it to Tom for a second and borrow a little bit of his vinegar. You brought up a word a moment ago that totally defines everything that we're doing wrong. Antiquated, right? We're trying to play a game that is not played anymore by old rules that don't even apply anymore. And we're trying to bring that which we've learned, whether through its osmosis, mentorship, picking up from other people. We're trying to apply that to the crowdfunding game and getting frustrated when it blows up in our face. Fish is out there. He's, as an artist, he's doing a great fucking thing. He does his live streams, right? With him doing art out there. I love it. And yet he is still dwarfed by somebody who could come out tomorrow and run
Oh,
a TikTok for, hey, I was at the store and I read these, I picked up these books and rehashing, right? there's a market for comic books out there, right? And we're not getting it. We're not tapping into it. So what is the game that's being played right now? And what
I think it's ever changing, isn't it? Like ever evolving at this point.
Well, it is evolving, right? But it's evolving at a point where none of us here are under 50. Okay.
Ouch!
Why
would you say that? Why would you tell everybody that?
None of you here are under 50, right? And sorry, guys, as much as I like these fucking books, right? As much as I love the fucking books I've made, right? This is still fucking. It came out a few months ago, and it's old by years, by decades. I love it. But I came to the game too fucking late. I did. Right? Yet Bobby, Gino, or Jimmy will come up on their fucking TikTok and show a blind bag opening of Batman Absolute, and they're getting 100,000 views, and they're sending people to the shops. How do we tap into those motherfuckers, man?
You can't.
Good question.
You can't. I'll tell you why. It's exactly what you just said. Because you don't own Batman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if Calderon started doing Oswald blind bags, he could do it.
I did them. They didn't pop.
This is what I'm saying. So you have to for us, and I'm jumping the gun because it's supposed to be Dan's turn, but for us, we have to play sort of a longer game with this, with the creation of what we're creating, because we don't have the opportunity to just say Batman and people come running, right? So for us, it's like I have to say Critter and people go, I don't know what the fuck that is. And then I have to explain it to them and show them it's a real thing and show them that I've been doing this for a long time and it's a story and it's like this and it's like this. But we live in a world of ADHD, of people who only read the headlines and who people are just attracted to brand, which that's not new. We've been like that as a society for a long time. But the majority of the people that go into comic book stores or are doing their TikTok shows and all that kind of stuff, it's all about the brand. I'm selling Star Wars. I'm selling Batman. I'm selling Spider-Man. And people understand that brand and they come for it. So the answer is you have to turn your brand into a brand. You have to take it up a notch so that people know, even if it's in a small space, like we talked about you with your zombie book, right? Even if you existed in the zombie space to a point where people knew JD Rosario does zombie books and monster books, and we know him in that capacity, just that little tiny niche could change your entire brand awareness if you can hyper focus into that sort of space. And I'm sure we all have some sort of property or brand that we could hyper focus into a specific place, whether it's horror, fantasy, or whatever, and really latch onto that group. And if we could pull 500 people out of that group that came to your Kickstarter every single time, right, it changes the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, that's the question too, right? How do you get people to spend that kind of money when so many people don't seem to have that kind of money?
Well, but if you get 500 people to come in and they all spend $20,
right?
I mean, that's a great core,
that's
of people. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But right now, we all kind of are in like maybe 100, 200, maybe 300 of guys. For me, I've got so many different brands that I've got probably 300 or 400 backers, but they don't all come to the same books. Like some of them wait for Penny and some of them wait for Critter or whatever. So if I can be like, every time I launch Legend of Oz, I've got 500 people ready for Oz, that changes the game for me.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
It does.
But that's also the thing, like JD was saying earlier, those guys that did this back in the day usually did it with one book. They did it with one series. They did one thing and they built that one brand. Mm-hmm. And it was easy to know the Ninja Turtles or, whatever it is that you're doing, that's your one brand. This is where I go to get that, rather than what most of us end up doing is falling into the trap of, oh, I got this idea and this idea and this idea and this idea. And then you're splitting yourself in 5 or 6 different directions. And like you said, the people that come to back the Mighty Caw, the Cro-Magnon, don't necessarily come back Green Zone. And they don't necessarily come to back Alice Lost in Wonderland. I got some people that back it all, but fewer than otherwise. And if I had just focused in one direction, building one of those, I would be a lot further right now than trying to go in all these different directions. But it took me too long. I was too hard-headed to figure that out.
Well, but I think there's two sides to that coin. Yeah, you could go with one brand, one thing. This is what I'm known for. But when you open the doors to other brands, you can bring other people in. It's not even worrying about the crossover necessarily, but you're now open to 2 audiences, 3 audiences, 4 audiences. So I think there's value in that, but then there is also just the idea of like being Stephen King. I write horror novels and that's all I do forever. But I think most creative people, are too creative to sit in one box. Like I think it takes hyper discipline in my brain to sit in one box for like your whole career and just say, this is all I'm doing ever for the rest of my life. Like, holy shit. I think I'd lose my mind not being able to move into other things.
Yeah, but I think the difference is also is you're a writer, right? A lot of the guys I mentioned, actually all the guys I mentioned were cartoonists, so they were writer artists.
Sure. Yeah.
So it takes them a lot longer, just doing the art. I mean, you look at Dave Sim's stuff; he was writing. He had Gerhard doing the backgrounds, but I think he was also lettering along with Gerhard, and their lettering was like masterful. Like they won awards just for their lettering. So,
yeah, when you're doing the whole thing, that changes the whole game, obviously. Yeah. But
right.
For us, if tomorrow I want to write a book about a tree, that's what I'll do.
And it takes me a lot longer to get done with a book than it does for me to like write the script. If I was just doing that part, I could write several series and spend more time marketing them all than I can when I have to do the whole thing. And then I've only got so much time left to put into marketing, and it's where am I going to invest that? And
I also want to add something to those, those early indie names, right? The Sim, the Ninja Turtle guys, right? They were also blowing up when the direct market was being established. A lot of those retailers didn't know what they were doing. They were just ordering as fans, not as business people. And that showed.
I disagree with you 110%.
Brother.
I don't think you weren't there for it. You don't know your history. You don't know your history.
No.
You don't know your history.
Well, but there's two points here. There's sort of the 80s beginning, and then there's the 90s sort of restart with the retail sort of system.
Okay.
And in the 90s it was all hype. It was all just
it was a different game in the 90s.
It's blowing up. Yeah. The 80s is a different vibe than when we hit the boom, the image sort of period.
You guys had in the 80s you had Sim and you had ElfQuest and you had running right alongside Nexus and
I'm not taking away anything from the work that was done. But in the shops that I was going to in the 80s, it was retired people who took their investment to do something because they had a stock of back issues. It's not like they went to school for this. It's not like they had business backgrounds. All right. Yeah. It's different. Calderon, it's different if you, with a retail background, went and you opened up a location with your back stock than somebody who just retired and decided to spend $10,000 to $15,000 to order a shop, and then they're ordering without a background to understand this.
I know the stores that I went to that I frequented as a kid. Super Snipe was an actual business. They were teamed up with Steven Spielberg for a while. All right, it was an actual business.
Okay.
Action Comics, that dude was there for like 10 or 15 years when the rents just drove him out. Batcave was run by 2 weed heads, so I can't answer for them. They were just crazy. The other book,
they were brave, dude. They were
brave. No. Excuse me. That's Eastside Comics. Eastside Comics was the 2 weed heads. Batcave was a satellite store to a store that was all the way downtown. Village Comics, I think it was. That was their satellite store. So that dude had been in business for years. He knew what he was doing.
Village Comics, was that near St. Mark's?
It was somewhere.
I think I used to deliver to Village back in the day.
Where?
No. St. Mark's Comics is one of
No,
those
no, I know.
retailers that lasted.
Yeah,
you know.
but they were there before. Well, or I don't know if before St. Martin's, but they were definitely there during that period. But they were there for like 10, 15 years.
Okay, that's awesome that you saw that. I saw the opposite. I went to one where it was an old guy and it was a deli counter that had the new books behind the deli counter, and he had a layaway tin, right? I went to another one that, again, it was a husband and wife team, right? They had retired. That was over on Ralph Avenue in Brooklyn. I went to another one that was by Coney Island that was half candy store and the other half smelled like cat piss. I mean, bro, a lot of these. No, I mean, you know,
it's real. I went to a comic shop that was half comics and half plants. I went to one that was half comics and half literally a pet store, a legitimate pet store.
Okay.
I mean, and you're right. They were older, elderly. Not I won't say elderly, but they were older people that were, you know, doing whatever the hell they were doing.
So, so they were both, is what you're saying. There were guys that JD's talking about, and then there's the other guys that were doing the pet store comic shop.
A bunch of them that just popped up in strip malls and stuff lasted 3 years. But you know, it sounded like a good idea, or somebody had 1,000 comics and thought, "Oh, I should open a store," and then realized after a while that's a lot harder than they thought it was going to be.
Right, and then
there's new books. I have to buy new books.
Yes.
The stores that I used to frequent got replaced by places like Midtown Comics and Forbidden Planet.
Yeah,
which we know are legitimate businesses.
Correct. But that was 2000s, bro. Forbidden Planet probably earlier, right?
Yeah,
but I remember
Forbidden Planet was in the 80s. So
okay, they're the sister store to the one that was in the UK.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we know they were legitimate business.
They were legitimate business. Yeah. But there was a lot. I mean, come on. I made the joke, right? None of us here are younger than 50. But how many of those shops that we went to when we were kids even had a cash register?
All of them except for East Side Comics, because like I said, it was two weed heads.
I went to a bunch of them that just had like a cash box.
Yeah, bro.
The shop I used to go to had both, and the guys who worked there, one was a longtime comic book shop owner, and the other one was Wally Wood's apprentice.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like whoever if one guy was on that day, he used the cash register. The other guy used the tin can box or whatever it was.
Yeah,
you know.
To Jay's point, I went to the Incredible Pulp in Baldwin, Long Island.
That's a great name.
And that owner, and it did have a register, that owner was like in probably early 30s or something. So it wasn't like, he had retired. But to Jay's point, he was pushing some stuff that he personally liked. He liked Love and Rockets, exposed me to that. Became one of my favorites.
Another great one.
Yeah, and he was big on Cerebus. So, he had his Marvel and DCs. He had everything out there. I mean, I was able to, again, fill out a previews and get what I wanted. But beyond that, he did kind of steer people towards what he was looking at. And actually, before moving out of New York, the last place I went to sometimes was Escape Pod Comics in Huntington. And that was more of a bookstore. And again, another guy who just kind of pushed what he was into.
Right.
Having the mainstream stuff there, but reserving better display space for the indies that he preferred.
So you see, a majority of the ones that we went to that we're talking about with love, because we still went to them. I mean, I'm telling you, if the Kidnap van sold comics instead of candy, I would have been picked up years ago, right? But
probably you'd still fall for it now, bro.
Check this out, right? But if we were going to that and we saw that, how many of them actually had a background in education? I know for a while the original owner of Golden Apple was working with Diamond to help teach new owners about running the business, right? It was an incentive program for them. It wasn't like they could go to the Kubert School to learn how to run a comic shop, along with all this other stuff. So they were just ordering off the cuff, bro. from one of 5 to 6 different distributors.
Disagree with you about that point. You're fucking wrong.
No, bro. Then you know what? If I was wrong, there'd be a hell of a lot more comic shops around today.
No, Diamond whittled it down. It had nothing to do with the comic shops. The thing is that in '82, when Kamiko first started, Bill Willingham Elemental sold about 80,000 copies all on his own. Before then, 1980, Pacific Comics was selling upwards of 150,000 copies on some of their titles.
Okay.
This was that Star Slayer or something, right?
Yeah, we're talking about Jack Kirby, Star Slayer. We're talking.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Jack Kirby was there too. I forgot. Yeah.
Captain Victory.
Yep. Mystic was there for a little.
Again, you had 5 to 6 distributors selling to almost 10,000 shops. So the space was able to spread that around, bro.
Right, but the thing is, one has nothing to do with what you're saying. You're saying that people were just.
Was it the ultimate reason? No, but it had its place.
Now you're just backtracking because you don't want to.
I'm not backtracking. You're trying to bring out bona fides, and yes, I'm checking you that I understand that. And the statement that
you're
I
not
made.
Checking me. You're getting checked.
You're not checked. Get out of here. Get out of here, kid.
Well, remember, we talked about this. When you go back into the 80s, right, there was one Batman book. Well, 2. There was Batman and Detective, right?
This is very true.
Right? And so there was room to buy Pacific Comics. There was room to buy Ninja Turtles. There was room to buy stuff. Now there's 12 Batman books a month, and there's no room for Big Dog Inc.
12, I think, is going light.
I gotta agree with you on that. I do.
But you know what I mean? And that's the struggle, right? Is that there's a quarter of the stores that used to exist. All those guys are not going to be taking large risks on things.
Yes.
And so, they're gonna run the status quo. They're gonna they're gonna peek at the things that might pop out from Image. They're gonna peep at the things that might have a name attached from something that used to be Marvel or DC, and that guy did Batman, so let's see what he's doing over here. They'll peep at those things, and then here's a question, just as a thought process within all of this: will there ever be a Robert Kirkman again? A guy who came in, was borderline toast, even when he was at Image. Both of his books were borderline canceled. And he stuck with it. He kept paying his $2,500 a month to keep the books going. And eventually they both caught. And then obviously one became a TV show, and the rest is history. But when we see a lot of Image stuff coming in now, number one, none of it is ongoing anymore, or very rarely is it ongoing. Most of the time it's people are dropping a miniseries, might be a recurring miniseries of some sort. But most of the time you see something new come in, if it doesn't hit, it's gone. It's out the door. It's, a year later, it's in the dollar bins. How do we become Robert Kirkman in that sort of context?
I think that formula will work again. But it's once every 30 years or so. So
right.
As far as it goes for us, that's unlikely for anybody for that matter. But yeah, definitely, I think there will be another Robert Kirkman. I think that's more likely to happen than I don't know. I think it's going to be harder for a lot of these guys at Marvel and DC now to make a mark for themselves compared to what the guys that came before them did. It seems like a lot of them are ditching ship, as soon as the pay doesn't go up or whatever. I don't see too many of them hanging on there. Jason Aaron's hung in there. Jonathan Hickman's in and out, it seems like. But I don't see too many people sticking to it to the point where you got an Ed Brubaker reputation or something. Mm-hmm. They're getting their name in there a little bit, and they're trying to do their own thing, which I don't know. Maybe that's a good idea,
but see, that's the thing, right?
It's just different now, right?
Yeah, right. But think about this: Robert Kirkman came up as nobody.
Yeah.
He was doing Tech Jacket and Battle Pope, and what the hell are these things? Before he ever got to Invincible and Walking Dead, and and that kind of. And then he got his opportunity at Marvel, obviously, which helped him a lot to do the zombie thing. What the hell do they call that? Marvel Zombies. So that helped him a lot, but. He came up as a zero and came up virtually every single step on the ladder to get to where he is now. So
kind of the same thing like Rick Remender.
Is it? I don't know his story.
Yeah, I think it's similar. He was pumping out his own books, but I don't know if he was doing it at Image or if he was just doing it on his own. I can't remember.
Well, he did it through Dark Horse and a couple other smaller publishers, but yeah, he was definitely struggling on his own. Yeah,
but yeah, he's a point that the Kirkman method doesn't work for everybody, because he had a series on Sci-Fi Channel, and it didn't do anything to elevate the rest of his career.
Jeff Lemire had Sweet Tooth.
Yep.
And my understanding is he has a couple other things in the fire, but who knows when that's going to come out. James Tinian, right? Probably got like 4 or 5 things, but I don't think anything's come out yet.
Oh, you mean in movies or TV? You mean?
Right.
I think something's definitely coming from that stuff that he does, but
I think.
But again, there's no guarantees. Mark Miller sold his entire shit to Netflix. They did like one series, and they were like, "Never mind, we're not going to do this anymore."
No, because they did an animated series based off of that.
The Thieves.
Yeah.
I think we'll see more from him, but yeah, definitely somebody took the foot off the pedal on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had 2 seasons at Jupiter's Legacy, and then it didn't get
2 or 1. I thought it was 1.
Well, it did 1, and then they did like the villains cartoon thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then whatchamacallit, Powers had 2 seasons on the PlayStation Network for a minute.
Nobody's seen. I've yet to see it, and I wanted to see it
because that was a flagship program for the PlayStation Network, bro.
That's insane.
Yeah. But no, good to what Tom was saying.
And then then good stuff like from Vertigo also came out.
Good stuff
with when Jason Aaron had he did a trailer, or not a trailer. He did a pilot for HBO with Scout, and that didn't even see the light of day. Nobody even.
Oh well, hello. Look at the series that just finished right now on Hulu. Beauty. Who did it come from? It came from
Image. It's an Image.
It came from Image. Okay. I don't know.
Is it me or is it you breaking up?
I think it's you.
Yeah, I'm here. You're frozen on my screen, brother.
Yeah.
But I mean, Tom, there's also the writers that are coming into the game today are people with TV and movie credits, right? Zach Kaplan, Kill All Immortals.
Well, yeah, definitely. It makes it twice as hard, 10 times as hard for the rest of us. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Greg Weisman went from doing animated series back to writing comic books. Right? And Gargoyles and Darkwing Duck. And he was writing Spider-Man, and now he's doing something with the Darkwing comic book. So yeah, to what Daphne's saying, yeah, sometimes it's the bigger, it's the companies that are screwing us. Yes, when they got too many SKUs, too many Batmans, too many, products on the shelf, that's.
But that's also an indicator of the audience, because if the retailer knows I can sell 12 Batman books,
right, that's
his audience. He doesn't have somebody coming in saying I need 12 copies of Critter. I only need 3, because I've got 3 people that are buying it. So that's the other thing. That's the other side to this whole coin of all these questions is, what is the audience? What do they want? What is it that they're looking for in this, bubble that we exist in?
So it goes back to my question. Do we need to find those evangelizers, right? Those advocates, right? Those kids who are in line with that new generation of reader right now that is got a platform to speak to them, whether it's through TikTok or whatever new social platform is coming out, and can reach them with our stuff.
Well, advocates, commercials, influencers, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that's marketing 101. I mean, that's been done for decades upon decades upon decades. Back in the day on live TV, Lucy would sell cigarettes on the Lucy show, So yeah, 100%. The influencer thing. Some people get cosplayers to just sort of be the sort of the face of the thing at cons. That'll bring them in, and then you can sell them a book. So 100%. There are definitely ways to get the influencer sort of aspect involved with what you do. Sometimes it's just as easy as like paying somebody. Hey, I need somebody to help me sell books at the con. And you find somebody who is engaged in comics, understands it, is a good salesman to at least some degree, and knows your book and likes it. I mean, they don't have to like it, but that helps. And just say, look, you're a salesman. You are a salesperson. Sell my book to these people. And that's your job. And you get some percentage or some per diem or whatever it is. and get people to do it. I mean, I know some folks that have regular. They help do the whole booth, like they help everything. But once everything's like set up and like the attendees are in there, like that's what they're there for, to be like, hey, do you want to see what this stuff is? And they stay there and they sell the books. So that's just another step of selling. Now that's, again, I'm talking about face-to-face cons, but that can then translate in the same way to online. Is if you have somebody who's posting about your book, hey, I got this book at the thing and it's really cool and whatever, all their followers now go, okay, what's that cool thing that they were talking about? So it's there. All you got to do is step your foot into that pond.
But here's the thing though, Tom. Not all those things that get you into the green zone, right?
No.
So
nope.
Mr. Fish, what are we looking at?
This is Green Zone Life in the Blocks, where 5 years of service can get you your citizenship and let you crawl your way out of the green zones. In this world, anybody could be born a mutant, and if you are, you lose all your rights and citizenships, and they shove you into the green zones, sort of like District 9 or something. You know, they shove you into these ghettos and forget about you because you're obviously a supervillain waiting to happen. And enough people have been mistreated enough times and done bad things with the powers that they had that there's plenty of reason to believe that. And so if you want to get out and make a better life for yourself, you have to prove you're not a threat to humanity. And so if you can survive 5 years in the military or on the police force or the fire department or even sanitation without getting shot by a cop or killed by mutant gangsters or, attacked by humans or use your powers and get sent to prison or worse, then you can prove that you're not a threat and get your citizenship and move out. This is the collected trade of their first shift on the force, which has the first 4 issues plus extra material I had to cut out to hit page count originally, and about 30 pages worth of short stories and stuff that follow other characters and stuff around the world and flesh it out more. And it has the handbook in it, and I'm adding in police files on all the characters and the people that have like bought places in the book and stuff like that to have their characters showcased. And so it's probably going to be close to 180 pages once I get all the character files done. Nice. But yeah, it's really cool. We just unlocked the $5,000 cruiser mini. I haven't had a chance to update the graphic, but that's been unlocked. So everybody that's getting the physical 33 millimeter minis of the main 4 characters will get that as a physical too. Everybody that's getting the digital files, the STL files, will get the STL file of that. So you can print it on your 3D printer at home or the library or your local makerspace or give it to your buddy to print you a copy. It's pretty cool.
So, cool. So Fish, during the concept phase, like what got you to this? Like why were you interested in doing this type of concept?
I was chicken to do my Alice Lost in Wonderland story that I really wanted to do, but I wanted to build up a bigger audience for myself, and I really loved this story too. This was my second favorite story that I was working on, and working on the book kind of brought it neck and neck into which one I love the most, because the characters got a lot more interesting and fleshed out as the story went on. But yeah, I love it. And I'd like to say I had some bigger grand design for it when I came up with it, but honestly, it came to me in a dream, and I sketched out the ideas when I woke up and started fleshing it out with like, well, if that's happening, then this would probably happen. And if that happened, then this would happen. And you know how people treat people that are different than them. And next thing you know, it was a whole fleshed out world that makes a really interesting place to tell different stories. Like just things I see on the news or things we watch on TV with my wife after dinner. I'm like, oh man, if that happened to Virgil, this would have played out completely differently. Or, if that happened to Bellamy when she's covered with razor sharp quills all over her body, that would have been a very different scenario. And she probably would have gone to prison. And so, the story ideas just keep coming for this world. And then a lot of it's just taken straight from my life too. Like Virgil's 100% an analog for what it's like to be bigger than everybody else and to look scary to everybody else when you're not a scary guy. And to have people treat you like you're going to hurt people when you're a nice guy, and can't win for losing. He gets up and tries to do the right thing every day and fights against the way people treat him and the way everybody hates him for looking scary, and still can't win for losing. But that's the case sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, you're at 70 hours. You're well above your goal, so you're good. Yeah. So very nice. It looks like an awesome book. You got a couple more backers. You did 100 backers.
Yeah, we're 2 backers away from unlocking the next milestone, which will be a 3-inch sticker of Bellamy for everybody, all the physical backers.
So, Fish, I noticed an animal theme, a creature theme to your work.
I kind of backed myself accidentally into doing a furry book, and I didn't intend it that way. Like, there's all kinds of superpowers. I mean, there's a guy that has a glowing yellow eye that runs the gang in Virgil's block, the big lizard dude, and his power, he looks at you and intimidates people, and which lets him be a gang leader and be a skinny little flamboyant dude because he doesn't have to worry about appearing tough because he can intimidate anybody he looks at. Like, there's people that generate fire and all kinds of other things, but when I really started thinking about like mutations and like what is it more likely that your genetics might spontaneously come up with, I figured it's a lot more likely your genetics could mutate into doing something that we've already seen DNA do, like having fur or horns or spots or claws or something, more often than shooting fire out of your elbows. We have yet to see like spontaneous non-winged flight just evolve. So like that's a lot rarer to come by, but there are people that have really cool powers and get to go pro and work for like this overarching organization, and we get a peek at that. I'm actually working on pages right now where we get a bigger peek of that in the stuff that I had to cut originally, of what that organization's like and some of the people that work in there. And when the police station gets attacked in the middle of their first shift, Alpha, the organization that hires and like professional heroes, sends some people out to investigate and keep an eye on things because they assume at first that it's just more, superpowered genomes causing a ruckus or a riot. So they go to investigate, see if they need to quelch anything. But, just a regular old attack on a police station, like happens when you have mutants that can detonate and stuff.
All right. Cool. Like I say, you got 98 backers, you're another 70 hours. So, you'll probably make it up to, we'll see if we can get you that 6K.
And that would be awesome. I've already broken my own personal record on my personal account for my own books. So I'm pretty proud about that. But I'll take whatever y'all want to give me.
Did Tom just whip out a fan? He just whipped
out
a fan? Oh, I think he whipped out a fan. I'm like, it's fucking cold over here. And he's going through menopause on fucking screen.
Wow.
I'm doing my Doc Holliday. Getting my.
I've been wondering.
Getting my practice in.
Cat's tail in the corner. I keep seeing flipping her.
There's no order in this joint, but we do have Law and Order. So there you go.
Oh, another segue.
There you go. Right there you go. Dan, what do we got here?
Law and Order. She's the liaison between the police and the superheroes. So she's made a number of appearances in Argo 5. She had a number of her specials for Halloween, Christmas, summer. So just another holiday that we pulled out with Easter. And as you can see, variety of covers, getting, I guess, a little increasingly spicy, but it is safe for work. So it's not going to be anything too extreme. Kind of like spicy but nicey type of stuff. And a little bit, I just had a Thunder Zone campaign, which is still open for late pledging. That's a more straight superhero stuff. This is a little superhero with comedy. So, when I kind of market it and the updates and everything, it's still superhero, but maybe, again, a little bit of a different flavor. As Tom was mentioning, some people back one, don't back the other. So I have to kind of rotate in for covering the different audiences that I seem to have. But yeah, this we just had this Kickstarter, so I'm reoffering that book, Gladiator versus Law and Order. Gladiator being part of Argo 5, which I'm lettering issue 48. That's kind of like my ongoing long-term title. And we got some sample pages for the Easter special, being by Marcelo Salazar, with Priya Pillai doing the colors. And, well, part of the whole series is the fact that she's undersized. She's shorter.
Was she 5'2"?
No, we're talking like, you know what? I was working out at a gym in Elmont. Okay, you guys know Elmont, New York, our two hosts to New Yorkers. So I'm working out at the Valencia gym. At the counter, maybe like 410, this girl tells me she wants to be a cop. Okay, so her name was Lauren. So right there and then, I go home, I make up this character. Right? And I figure I'm gonna like bump it down to like 4'8" or something, just for comedic effect. And that's the origin of the character. That was in Argo 5 number 6, her first appearance. So now you're talking 15 years maybe ago. And then her own specials. And now this Easter special. And yeah, so that's where the comedy comes into play sometimes, where, you know, she's dealing with these problems of fighting crime and supervillains and everything while being vertically challenged.
Gotcha. All right, cool. I mean, that is funny. I like the origin though. I like how you came up with the character. You know, I think what it is, I think you and Fish have to cross over. So you know, those.
That's literally why one of the characters, Waters, in my team is so short, because I was making a training officer for Bellamy, and I was just happened to be watching this TV show, and this short, little, tiny, pear-shaped cop lady comes on in this fluffy coat, and she was the most non-threatening cop I'd ever seen in my life, and I thought that was funny, so I decided to put another short person on the team besides their boss to really counterpoint Virgil's height. But then I decided to make her a little bit of a badass, but she's still, you know, a short, curvy little queen. But I just love the, you know, her being tough and short and, you know, trying to stand up and make people take her seriously when they already don't want to take a genome cop seriously.
Yeah, that's where I go with this. Whereas she is a badass, as on like this cover was showing, but you know, there are other times where she comes up short.
And she's also a liaison. That's what I thought that was the interesting part. She's a liaison between the normal world and the, you know, the super beings. So
yeah, I mean, someone has to kind of like regulate what's going on in that superhero world with, you know, because in the real world, there's a lot of paperwork involved in law enforcement. And of course, in superheroing, we never really see much of that. So that's where she'll come in and kind of make sure everything is going by the books for the superheroes.
all right, cool. Well, let's see. You're already fully funded. You got another 9 days to go. So you just hopefully we get a few more people to jump in there. So go check this out. Very nice. I like it. Whoa. And then we have Mr. Escobales. What is the Royal? What are we looking at? John, are you still there?
Oh, it's frozen.
Is he frozen? He is frozen. He's frozen. Yep, he's the thinker at the moment.
He's really contemplating.
There we go.
Hey, there we go.
So, John, are you there? Is he gone?
I don't know. I heard hey.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear me, but I'm having technical difficulty here.
Yeah,
Everything's frozen up.
Yeah.
So talk to us. What's the royal about?
I guess he can't hear us.
Yeah, it sounds like you can't hear us. Yeah.
All right, I pulled up his thing, right? The king, in case he's still frozen. The king has abducted his wife and put a price on his head. Aidan Grandier is a desperate man in hostile territory and running out of time in 1309 France. Blood will pour like the truth from a tortured soul.
All right, cool.
Right, so the savage action, political intrigue, and dark brooding fantasy for pulp readers, fans of Conan and Templars. Okay.
All right, very nice, very nice. I have all right, let me get this one off of here. I think I could play this video that I have. I don't know if this thing has audio. Oh, here he is.
Are we good?
John.
There you go, bro.
Hey, sorry about that, man. It was blinking on and off. I couldn't get it to work.
Jay
Sorry
did
about that.
He read your stuff.
Did you finish it? Did you read the whole thing?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Try it, brother. Try it for you, bro.
All right, so the $10 pitch is Conan the Barbarian impersonating a priest in a whole season of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Oh, there
Got
you
it?
Got it. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, it takes place in 1304 France. Oh, there you go.
Nice.
So, John, this is in pre-launch. When do you expect to launch?
You lost him. Lost him again.
We lost him again? Really?
Lost him again.
That's
Yep.
all right. All right. Well, there's John's thing. His thing is in the show notes. Go click on it. Go preserve it.
you go.
It looks really good.
There you go.
It looks really, really good.
Look,
All right. That's
I
pretty
like
cool.
the black and white. Cool, man.
Yeah, I liked it. John,
Sorry about it. Hey, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my router or something.
I don't know, but we played the video. It looks awesome.
Could you hear the music?
Yes,
Yeah.
you heard the music. Was that you?
That was my kid. Yeah, he's great.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Very
awesome.
great.
At the banjo?
When do you expect to launch?
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Very
Okay.
Next Saturday at 1, we're gonna do a whole thing. It's
Uh,
gonna be
30
live. We're gonna be auctioning off some art, raffling off some art, stuff like that.
Cool. 30 days, 24 days. How many days?
30 days.
30 days. Okay.
Yep. We're still working on putting the whole campaign together. It's mostly done, but
Mhm.
I just wanted
mean-
to show the video for now.
Yeah, the artwork looks awesome. You know, the artwork looks really nice. I mean, I know you're a good writer, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the other question is how many issues are you looking at?
We're looking at 5,
Mhm.
and then if we do okay, we're gonna continue with the character. But this
Okay.
story, and we're gonna do it in kind of a Tarantino type of thing where the first half of the story we pick up right in the middle. Essentially, the guy's on the run, and the king has his wife, and he's trying to get his wife back. So he's running that way, and then there'll be a flashback section where he'll be thinking back to what got him into this position and unreeling the whole backstory.
All right, cool.
So if you've ever seen it's a combination of the movie The Devils, which is have you ever seen the movie The Devils? Anybody?
No. No.
Oliver Reed, based on true story, pretty wild. It's a combination of that and the TV show Banshee.
Wait, The Devil's that's a Hammer horror film?
No, actually, it looks like one, but no, it's actually it was from that era.
Okay.
So,
I know
Ken
Oliver
Russell.
Reed did a couple of Hammers. That's why.
Yeah, he did The Curse of the Wolf Man and stuff like that. Yeah, Oliver Reed, intense.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. I've been popping in and out with this router. I don't know what the deal is.
That's right. We got another intense book. Vicky Sticks.
What? Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Look at that girl. Look at that girl. So I am taking the Frankenstein's monster story and I'm reinterpreting it here in New York City, where I live. And we're utilizing a female lead who is a protector of all the creatures that go bump in the night. If you're a fan of Lady Death, Vampirella, Hellboy, Jessica Jones, or the 1980s Beauty and the Beast that starred Linda Hamilton and Ron Perlman, this is the book for you. It is a 24-page, full-color, monster-mashing action adventure. We've already unlocked the first 3 stretch goals. Would have been a lot further, but we had a couple backers. It is written by me, illustrated by Dani Hariwijaya. Covered by Larry Toussaint, colored by Champe Ramirez. And this is issue 2. We also have an issue number 1, issue 0. This book is also part of the Creator trading card crossover set. So myself, Calderon, Tom, Marvin Wynn, Rob Multari have a corresponding card that is in each one of selected Kickstarters that'll be running through the course of the year. So if you back it, that stretch goal is unlocked and it's automatically yours and no extra charge. We still have some awesome sketch covers that are up there. We still have, one-of-a-kind sketch covers that are up there. We have T-shirts that are there. We are constantly expanding on our trading card set. So every campaign that I do has trading cards added to it as stretch goals. Then if you are a returning backer, you get a holochrome trading card, which goes for $5 a pop, added to your reward and no extra charge. That's it. The set right now currently sits at 57, not including the cards that are getting unlocked in this campaign. And then the bottom one are the holochrome ones. And then for those that are running out of space, we also have the digital catalog. So that all the books, you can get them in one clean shot. You save a hell of a lot of money. If not, you can pick up the digital sets or the print sets of the ones that I still have in print. And then we have our backer goal. So we've already unlocked one backer goal. We're about 20, depending on the time of the week, we could be anywhere between 15 and 20 from unlocking backer goal number 2. But we keep getting a couple drop pledges here and there. Yeah, that's where we're at. Maybe that's where we're at. So those are the future stretch goals that are coming. That's the trading card set. And, she's kick ass, baby. She is kick ass. That's my girl, man. And this was totally not planned. Well, the first part was we launched the Monster Book on Friday night, February 13th, last month. And guess what this bad girl is ending? Next Friday night, Friday the 13th. Come on. How do you not be a part of the thing that's sandwiched in between 2 Friday the 13th? I didn't know it was coming, but it did. It hit, and it's a monster book. It's like it's bound to happen. Just like the intro with salt, pepper, vinegar on a little bit of fish. It's bound to be magical. All right? And we're just asking for you to be a part of it. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to have a good time. You're going to be part of the rewards program if you're not already. And, she's going to be shipping out. She's good to go. She's done. She just needs to be printed up. And hopefully we can have that in everybody's hands by the end of April or early May, all depending on, we're printing lives with that.
All right. Very nice. Very nice. So, all right. You well past your goal. You got another 4 days. So everybody go jump on. Awesome book.
Yes.
It's got to be better than the Bride movie. So, just think of it that way.
See, but the Bride movie is The Bride of Frankenstein reinterpreted, right? It's, honestly, it looked like the Joker 4-day.
It's 100% the Joker.
Really? Mm. Oh, wow. Good thing I didn't watch it. Good thing I didn't watch it, bro. Wow.
It was such a weird freaking movie, man.
So you spent money on it.
Oh yeah, I wanted to see it. Yeah, and it had a lot. It was really strange because it had a lot of cool things that it was trying to do, but it never really decided which one of those things it wanted to like. This is where we're going. This is why we're here. It was just like and oh, okay, whatever.
Is this Maggie Gyllenhaal's first directorial debut?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, that's why she got Christian.
But again,
Bale.
the directing is one thing, but the story is again where you're left and right through all these ideas of the story.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, this
that
is
woman who plays the bride. What's her name? Jessica something.
Yeah,
Jessica. She's phenomenal, hugely talented woman.
She's really good in the movie. What she does, I won't spoil what she does, but she has a really difficult part. But again, the story that is being given doesn't coalesce into. By the time you're done, you know you've been told and then you're at the end. You're like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Here's the question: better or worse than Del Toro's Frankenstein movie?
Oh God.
Yeah, I know.
I'll pass on that question.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer.
Really?
You consider that? Well, you know, we're looking for some new adventures. This is the sign-up page for Adventure Finders, Rod Espinosa's new trade paperback for his ongoing Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings type story. So if you want, go sign up for this. This is a project that the ICN, the Indie Comics Network, is taking up. That's myself, that's Daphne, and this is our first venture into publishing. So it's a little strange for us. So we're getting into this. We're going to see how this works out. Rod currently lives in the Philippines, so he's not able to do any Kickstarters. So we're out here, we're repping them. So please sign up. The book is going to be awesome. Rod Espinosa is a long-time comic book professional. He's worked over at Antarctic Press. He's worked over at Dark Horse. He had a number of titles come out. So go check it out and go sign up. All right. And this will probably be launching in another 24 days. So we'll see what happens. All right. But it's going to be soon. It will be here faster than you think. All right. Tom, you already asked a question, right?
I asked a couple questions, but I have the answer to JD's question. And the answer is that The Bride is better than Del Toro's Frankenstein. Only because Del Toro's Frankenstein is basically just Frankenstein. There's not really anything that isn't what we already know. Like it's a great shot, great visual. Like, okay. But The Bride tried to be other things. Christian Bale is really interesting as Frankenstein. Like we just said, Jessie is like really good in what she does. And because you got to see that sort of variation, it was really unique. It was visually cool. The story fell flat, but I think the attempt was worth more than what we got from Del Toro.
Ooh. Yeah, because I mean, Del Toro's Frankenstein was not just a retelling of Frankenstein. It was also his Pinocchio. It was also his. I mean, he's done the story before. Yeah. And at least with Maggie, you're getting something with a fresh take, right? A new path.
Correct. And that in and of itself has value, regardless of how it lands. At least there was a swing taken. Yeah.
Okay. Segue.
All right. Talking about segues. All right. So I got a question for you guys. How did you finance your first comic book? How did you finance the production of your first comic book and your costs for printing? Right. So we all did a first comic, right? Yeah. So how did you finance that fucker? Because we all know it was not cheap or easy, right? And then how did you finance the printing on that book as well? So look, it was so tough. Jay just got himself out of here.
No, I'm here.
The things Jay had to do.
Blood and semen, like Robert Rodriguez. It's literally it's in his book. That's what he used. That's what he did. Not.
Oh, okay. Well, good for him. Yeah. Let's start. Dan, I don't think you ever got to start, so we'll start with you.
All right. Yeah, I was working a day job, so I had some money, and I don't know, JD, did I pay you in check or cash? I forget. But,
Probably a check at the time.
okay. Well, yeah, back then I think did Quinn bring me over maybe to your place and hammered out what the specs were and everything like that.
Right.
And then
was that your first book though?
Yeah, that was the Argo Comics pinup special.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that was Cules.
Yeah.
Cules was the one that introduced us.
Yeah. Dave brought me over there, I guess, and said, yeah, I got a guy who'll print this book. And yeah, I think he actually had some pinups in there. So, but again, working a day job, money coming in, paying the mortgage, doing whatever, and enough to print however many copies we printed. Then you printed my second book, the Argo Comics Pinup Spectacular, and that was just to get kind of visuals and names semi-copyrighted and printed, and then from there I went into stories.
All right, cool. All right, that's kind of funny because I haven't been in publishing or printing in it's been a while, 17 years.
Like 20 years ago.
Yeah, probably like 20 years. Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah. Done a lot. John.
Kind of the similar story. Except I didn't have your help, but I did have Keith's help. And Keith was a big guy. He kind of walked me right through the whole thing. But yeah, I just saved up a bunch of money, and I also had a friend who was a longtime comic pro, who kind of, doctored me through that whole story. I'd give him pages, and he would let me know that's not going to work. Change this, change that. And then he gave me a cover, so that was cool too.
Nice.
So it worked out. But after that, then it became a thing where I got a bunch of people interested in taking the book off my hands, and they were interested in the book and the concept, but they weren't interested in me being involved in it. So I wasn't interested in giving it away.
Right.
And so I just ended up holding on to it, waiting for someone to offer me something that would be with me included, and that never happened. So bummer.
Yeah.
But it was a start. That was the first one.
Cool. What was the name of the book?
Martin Chase Human Weapon.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, it was an action adventure, kind of a martial arts action adventure thing.
All right. Cool. Mr. Fish.
Well, 30 years ago, I tried self-publishing my own book, and I looked at getting like the local newspaper to print up a copy of it, but they wanted $10,000 to do like 5,000 copies or something, and that might as well have been $10 million to a young married kid, trying to start a life. And I was going to go the ashcan route with it, but every place I took it to try and sell it to shops wanted it wrapped in brown paper so you couldn't see the cover, and sealed in plastic so you couldn't peek inside, and behind the curtain, so you had to like show ID to get back to it. And then they wanted 85% of the cover price to hold it on consignment. And I was like, I could draw it and I could produce it, but I can't get rid of it for that. And so there's only like one copy of that out in the world now, and I kind of wish I had it back because I hate that book has my name on it, because it was really bad. I was trying to show how grown up I was at like 21, and so I made it as nasty as I could possibly make it, because that's what adults do. That's why you got to be an adult to see all those movies. I had to grow up a little bit before I realized everybody didn't just talk like that all the time.
What was the name of the book?
Back then it was called Angel Spit, but it was like an anthology. But the story was the Alice Lost in Wonderland story that I'm doing now. A lot of things have changed over 30 years, but it's still the same. It's still the same story, basically.
Did you say Angel Spit?
Yeah, that's a great name.
That's a great name for a band.
Yeah.
It went around as a lot of different things until it ended up on the title of that comic book.
Wow.
When are we gonna be able to get this book?
Yeah, I'm with it.
That one is never going to see the light of day. If I could get that first issue back, I would buy it. I've had people offer me money for the copies that I do still have that I still can't show my kids. They have kids. I'm not showing them this because, like, it was nasty.
Can you give us one of the tame nasty parts? I mean,
well, as you opened up the book, it had a centerfold that popped out that was a Catholic schoolgirl getting raped by a demon.
Okay.
So like it was.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Wasn't great.
Legend of the Overfiend then, all over.
All right. Sold.
I'll
take 10.
I actually did do 7 years ago and got out was on Kickstarter, and I just happened to see a video on CircWorks Lab about like doing Kickstarters to get your books funded. I didn't even know that was a thing. I just thought it was people like trying to make inventions or get movies funded, and got T-Man and Hyperstrike funded, and 7 years, 132 books later, here I am.
Way to go, bud.
Nice. All right, cool. Tom, what about you? What was your first book? How'd you finance this sucker?
We did two kind of at the same time. It was so Critter was the first book that I wrote, and so but none of my comic book beginnings were like we're going to go make comics now. It was all just side stuff because I had jobs. My wife had a job. It was just like, well, we'll just do this and we'll have fun on the weekends and go to cons and stuff. So everything was just kind of being paid every month or so. Pages would come in and here's some money. So it was just our job and credit cards and whatever. And then when we finally got to the point where we published the book, we sold enough copies that it basically paid back for what we were doing. But we also had a boost right off the bat with Penny for Your Soul because we had retailers immediately wanting to do variant covers and stuff. So they dove in and that was an insurgence of some money. Plus it was instant, like we just talked about, influencers, right? They were taking the books and running it out into cons and selling their covers, but it was our book. So people were learning what our book was, without us having to do anything. So, it was basically just that. And then it was, and then it was cons and that fed us and, all that kind of stuff. But it was all just sort of like piecemeal for a long time, for years. And then until we were finally like, okay, it's time to kind of flip the switch and go to print and see what the hell happens.
All right, cool. Jay?
The first book was The Storm Chasers. It was illustrated by Cesare Tartarelli, who ended up doing some Deep Space Nine books. I don't know if it was IDW or whoever it was, but he did some of those. It was an ash can. Had Ray Dillon do the cover. Funded by my job. And I started the
Ray Dillon?
Yeah.
Ray and who's his wife?
Yeah,
them. Okay, wow, that's a blast of the past. Holy smokes!
Yeah, so all the information I got was through drive-through, and they were on there.
Yeah.
This was while he still lived up in, I think it was New Hampshire,
Maine. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had that, and then I wasn't even tabling. I was going to conventions like fucking Oliver Twist. Will you please take a look at my book, sir? Right? And then somebody introduced me to Comics Press. And I think they had been in business less than a year. Well, like, right? And I popped my cherry, and then from there we just kept growing. I started the website. There was it was in Google Ads. It was before Google Ads. There was a banner website that you could put banners on your website. And
Project Wonderful.
Yeah, you go, bro. Mm-hmm. And people would bid. So I made a couple $100 off of that, and I funded the next two ash cans. Then I went to start a life in Virginia. That went south on me. I came back home, and in 2011, I had pages for the 4th issue of the Storm Chasers done, and I took that and I did some pinups and I put together a character guide. I did the Brenner thing and went to New York Comic Con and did pretty fucking good, dude. People were just was buying the stuff, and I was like, you know what I mean? I was like that bear, the Disney cartoon. He didn't know which way to look. Right? It was the 4-day event, and it was the start of the addiction. You know, I met people, I networked at the events, and I just kept growing, and I kept growing, and I kept growing. I did that. So the first con that I tabled at was a big show. You know, I never did the church basement cons to start off with, and I got publicity from there, which was good, and I think that helped me out a lot. Yeah, that was the start of it. That was the start of it.
You got the sickness.
Big time, dude. Big time, because you know we also partied there, man. We partied, and then the next year, you know, I'd grown. I had maybe about 10 to 12 books by that time in the catalog, from expanding on the first ash cans, and ran a networking event that I will never do again, because I got so bombed on a Saturday night that on Sunday, you could smell the alcohol coming out of my sweat, and I had alcohol poisoning, so I wasn't even at the table for 8 of the 9 hours that the sales floor was open. I didn't even do $50 on that Sunday. I was like, no, there's no more partying ever again, man, ever again. And that was also the con where I ended up on BET. I was like, yeah, I made it. Right, I got.
Was that Sunday or Saturday?
It was this. I think it was a Friday. No, it was a Friday, because I ended up on 106 and Park that Friday. So I was like, yeah, bitches. You know, so I vibed off of that. Yeah, man, it was it. The bug was locked in. It wasn't there ready. It was locked the fuck in, man. And yeah, man.
It's crazy how the digital webbing is literally that web. I had no idea that you were a digital webbing person as well, and I keep hearing that again and again and again. Yeah, it's really wild. So it's Ray and Renee DeLise was
there. We go.
Yeah.
It does some Wonder Woman stuff. I remember that.
She did do Wonder Woman. Yeah. They got married at San Diego Comic Con.
Oh, get out of here, man!
In the back by the harbor. They did it on I think it was on Sunday. They got married out there. Yeah, and she had stormtroopers take her down the aisle.
That's funny, man.
Wow.
And then what was really funny is when it was over and they were leaving, they went out to the front to like get their car or whatever. Everybody just thought that they were in cosplay, so everyone just wanted to take their picture. They were like, "Who are you? Are you doing you dressed up? Taking pictures?" It was ridiculous.
Yeah. That's funny. When I did Boston Comic Con, and he came through and he chilled with me for a couple days at the Boston Comic Con, and then they moved to Florida. He was at one of the mega cons. He came through. He said, "What's up?" And then I don't know if they stayed in Florida or he was up in New York, and he came back to say, "What's up?" Yeah. Is he still working on books or no?
I have not heard from them since their Peter Pan thing that they did on Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the last I heard.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That went south or something?
It was complicated.
Yeah, it took them a long time to fulfill, but they did fulfill.
Yeah, they did do it.
Yeah. I know, because I was.
This was like early days of Kickstarter, and people were figuring out what the hell's going on. And, Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. So then that first year, in between the BET segment and that first promo, I read about Kickstarter in the New York Times, and I saw it for people getting, funding movies and stuff. Didn't think about it with comic books, and Facebook was open at that point, and I had some people that I had met from the conventions just like hitting me up on Facebook Messenger with Kickstarter. Every day it direct messaging me like 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, fuck, man, you're so annoying with this Kickstarter shit. Little did I know.
Little did you know
that we'd all be hooked up to it like an intravenous.
So no, dude, that was it. I started with the ash cans, cut my teeth, and just kept going. I didn't give up on myself. How about that? Let me say that. I didn't give up on myself, and I had to learn business the hard way. And even when Kickstarter came out, it wasn't like I was fully funding my stuff, but it was helping me bring down my overhead, right? And I learned how to keep the lights on.
And we're still all learning.
We're still all learning. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yes. To answer the question myself, when I graduated out of high school when I was 17, and a buddy of mine went to a different high school though. He went to the School of Art and Design, and he was an artist. And I knew him since junior high school. And he was like, "Yo, come meet some of my guys over there and whatever." And I met some of them. And one of his friends, who eventually became my friend, he said, "Listen, man, I'm gonna bring you the best artists in my class." And that's what he did. And I married one of them. That's Daphne.
Thank God it wasn't the other one, the other guy you met.
No, it wasn't the other guy.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, just
could have married both of them.
Yeah.
There you go.
I married my penciler and my colorist.
Yep. But then I also met Matt Lunsford, who eventually ended up doing Tenchi Muyo and La Bluga and all that stuff together. And what happened was there was just like 6 or 7 of us at the time. And I didn't have any money, but I was like, "Look, guys, I'm going to do this comic book thing. I'm figuring it out as we go. I'm writing new scripts. You guys can be my partners." Right. And we were all kids, and everybody was like, "Yeah." So we all jumped in and we made a bunch of books. We made Tall Tales, Dreamweavers, Reaver, Security Agenda. We did a couple books of Revelation Saga. We did, and that was just the tip of the iceberg. Like there was like 4 or 5 other things that we never got to do, right? And we financed it by all chipping in on one book, and then we sold enough copies of that book to finance the other books, and then we did that for 3 or 4 years, and then we had to stop because we were producing annuals and we didn't know what we were doing. But everybody was in college at that time, so and we were just nuts. And then we just moved on, and then we eventually did all the other stuff, La Blue Girl and Tenchi Muyo and all that jazz. And now we're here. But it was a lot of fun, though. It's a lot of fun.
Still at it.
Yeah, still at it.
That's it.
Yeah. Jay, you got another question?
Yeah. All right. So based on piggybacking on your question, how did you move your first big print run? Right. So it doesn't have to be your first issue, right? But the first time you ordered the most amount of copies you ever did. How did you do it? Did you sell them? Did you convention? Did you table them? Were they giveaways? Did you leave them on somebody's doorstep? Did you put them in the library? What did you do? How did you move?
Do you still have them?
Do you still have them? Yes. Do you still have them?
Yep.
Do you still have any? Yes. How did that go? How did that experience go with moving your first big print run?
John, you're up, man.
We sold them at cons.
Okay.
Yeah, we just sold them at cons and through word of mouth. But I have a small stack of the first run though, just because I love the cover. I don't want to get rid of it. I've got a blurb on the front cover. You ever heard of Barry Eisler?
No.
Thriller writer. And he gave me a little blurb that I put on the cover, how much he liked the book. So that was cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, made my day. Still makes my day when I see it.
Like that. I like
Cool.
that.
Mr. Fish.
The first book that I kickstarted was T-Man and Hyperstrike, and I did 500 copies of that. And within the first like 8 months, I had gotten rid of almost 400 of them, of that 500. I had like, I can't remember, like 69 people or something back that Kickstarter. Like, it wasn't a great big number. But it paid for me to do a print run through Kablam of these black and white comics and get them shipped out. And then I had a stock, and I did the whole Kickstarter because I accidentally got a spot at a local con and I needed books to take with me. So I took them, not expecting to sell anything, because it's about a superhero team with Tourette syndrome and ADHD aimed at kids growing up with Tourette's like I did. It was not aimed at the main comic market. Like, I was completely trying to encourage kids with Tourette syndrome, and did not expect it to sell as well as it did. And I got lots of people messaging me. I was selling books through Messenger, and like, I had one of those early shops on my page from Facebook where I could sell stuff through there, and was, got rid of most of them that way. I still have maybe 50 of them left. Like, I had 100 left over at the end of that year, and I mostly, like, every once in a while somebody buys one, but I usually give them away as like prizes and stuff at my cons and stuff, because I did a whole nother print run with it in full color now and everything, and that's the one I try and push. But I still have a few of them around.
All right. Cool. Tom.
So our books, when they first came out, they all went through Diamond. So when Penny was first, Penny came out, orders were something like 3,800 or something like that. So it basically sold out immediately. We had to do a second print of issue 1. And it was all through Diamond. It was basically all through Diamond. And then when we did the second print, some of that went to Diamond as well. And then we had overprinted it so that we could actually, on purpose, take it to the San Diego Comic-Con and give a whole bunch of them away, because we wanted to do like just marketing at San Diego. I was like, what better place is there to like put comics in the hands of people than San Diego Comic-Con? Holy shit. Let me tell you how wrong I was, because we were standing out in front of San Diego Comic-Con, like right at the right where the train lets you out. You have to cross over and then make a left and go over the thing. So we were right there. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people walking by. Free comic, free comic, free comic. No, what? No. Like, what the fuck is going on right now? It was brutally humbling that people at San Diego Comic-Con did not want your comic book. But we did get rid of a bunch in that regard. And then we had extras of the first print to basically then everything sold at cons. But then because we were doing everything every 2 months, we kind of got into the understanding that we need roughly 3,000 copies a month, because our attrition really never happened. Normally you get like, you sell 3,000, and then it's like 1,500, and then it's like 1,000. Like, that never really happened for us for that book, because we were selling it every 2 months. And what I think happened that saved us from the attrition was they put in whatever orders they thought for issue 1. Boom, they show up. They're on the shelf selling while they have to order number 2 at the same time. And I think that they were able to see the sales happening, and they were like, oh shit, we bought like 10 of these and we sold like 8 already. So, their numbers were like, well, we can sell this book. So we never really had much attrition through all of that. And we really knew, like, okay, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. And we'd overprinted a little bit so that we'd have it at cons, because we knew we'd have to keep marketing it at the cons. But Diamond was taking roughly, 2,800 copies, 3,000 copies every time we put out a book. So same with Critter. Critter was about the same thing. It was like 2,500 copies when we put out that first issue. And then, our peak ever was Scheherazade 0. And that was, oh my God, that had to have been 7,500. and that was all through Diamond. The whole thing went through. I mean, we overprinted a little bit, but the bulk of it went all through Diamond. So, yeah, our runs have been all over the place. But in those early days, it was all Diamond, and then we would overprint and take it to cons, put it on the website, that kind of stuff.
Okay, cool. Way to throw it at our feet there. Just drop it. I would do 28, 3,500. But the biggest was 7,000 there.
I mean, you asked.
Yes, what?
You asked.
I didn't ask for all of them. Just give me the one. You're like, you did like this. You pretty much said, look at how far back from the urinal I stand when I'm in the bedroom. You know what I mean, bro? Come on.
I didn't even name drop. I could have name dropped.
No.
Listen,
that's the next one.
I kept it numbers based.
The next one. Shit. He's like, BET. I got that on the wraps.
Wasted on BET.
That's funny. The very first book I published was Revelations. It was an anthology. I had 5 of our books that were coming out. It was Tall Tales, Reaver, Starpoint, Dreamweavers, and Security Agenda. We published 5,000 of them. Okay, we printed up 5,000 of them. We had them all delivered to my house when I lived. Well, excuse me, my apartment where I lived with my parents, and I had 5,000 of them printed. Myself and all of my artists, good 6 or 7 of us, so they were waiting for the truck. We all pick them up, we move them out. Everybody got like a case of books, and the mandate was simple: find the comic book store and sell these fuckers. Yeah. And that's what we all did. We were young, shameless as fuck, and we went into these comic shops and we sold these books. I mean, and the thing is, I had relationships with a lot of these owners, and they would call me and they would be like, yo, Jose, we need you to come back. I need another 30, 40 copies. Wow. Right? Wow. And like these guys were super happy for us. They were like, because they knew we were young. We were like 18, 19 years old, and they knew. They were like, we were out there. And then the other thing was conventions. Conventions was a big thing for us. Yeah. And what the guys would do, because they were all artists and they were all competing with one another because they were crazy, and they would draw like the back of it there was a graphic, and then there was a black border all the way around. And we had gold pens, and they would draw on the borders, nice. And they would sell those for like 10, 15, 20 bucks or whatever. And we would they would just lay them on the table. People would just come over and just start snatching, and we sold hundreds of those. Nice. Then we eventually moved into Diamond. Well, not Diamond, excuse me. We moved into the dark market, where we sold an additional 3,000 copies through them. So that cleared out all my stock. By that point, that book completely sold out. And then at my peak, we were selling probably about 4,500 books, right? And I was split between, we did like a newsprint version, which usually sold 15 to 2,000 copies. And then we had a higher end version, which had like a cardstock cover and a really nice paper on the interior. And that usually sold about 2,000, 2,500. And like I said, we did it for a whole 3 issues. We had to get out of the business. Because like I said, we did it in 92, 93, and 94. That was our streak. We had one a year of each book. So yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Nice. All right. Let me make up a story right now on the fly that'll compete with Calderon and Tom. So give me a second here while I recalibrate. No, I ordered 2,000 units of the Storm Chaser book and when my box spring broke, I ended up using that to support the mattress on the bed. That's
that is very believable.
Well, that's a great story.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. But
I thought it just fell flat. Thank you. Please,
no, I like that.
I didn't. That was an AI story right there. That's all AI. That was a Chat GPT. He was typing into Chat GPT. How do I sound cool on my show?
7,000 units. Whose dick were they sucking? No. What you will call it? I'm sorry. I finished it before the show.
You're not gonna beat that last line.
Well,
That was
No. I moved it into conventions. I put some in a toy drive. I got some pictures that were really nice, heartwarming. But
Toy drive? Did you say toy drive?
Yeah. There was a toy drive. Somebody asked me to donate some stuff, and I was like, "Oh, well, I got these cases of books.
I just put my pen on the floor."
Here you go. And I, much like Tom, we didn't do, here's a book, at New York Comic Con. We got in early, and when they would do the program guides, we must have put maybe about 100 in the program guides because it was forever.
Nice.
Luckily, none were found in the bathroom at all or on the floors. So I hope they went to good homes. I hope they went to good homes.
That's cool. Tom, you got another question?
Or should I answer that one?
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan.
Oh my God,
you are in the middle. Sorry.
What a bad host, Dan.
Terrible.
Dan, kick his ass, Dan. Kick his ass.
Just drive up from Florida.
Well, yeah. Just drive up. Yeah, well, actually, okay, that first two pinup books that JD printed, I didn't go that crazy with the numbers, but, they did have like Tim Vigil and Bill Willingham and Hannibal King, a lot of the names of the time. So they were selling pretty good at conventions. And what Jay had said, I went the same route. Comics Press went with them for my first full-color storybook. So ordered a good amount of those. And I guess with those 3 books, went on the convention circuit with, Big Apple. And that might have been before New York Comic Con, but there were, shows all over the place. WinterCon.
At the church? At the church?
I didn't do the church. I went to the church.
Okay.
I didn't table at the church.
Okay.
At
the New Yorker then?
The Big Apple across from Penn.
The one at Penn? Okay. Because he did a few times at the New Yorker across from the Garden.
Yeah, no, it was, who was that guy? It looked like the Joker.
Carbonaro.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
He actually dressed as a Joker at a Halloween. So
dude, Garbo looked like he did too much fucking acid at CBGB's, bro. He was in that the sex dolls, right? That look, that style, bro.
Yeah.
Addiction. There you go. He could have been part of Jane's addiction. Wow. I'm just referencing anything.
Oh, I thought you were thinking the New York Dolls. I thought you were thinking
the New York Dolls. Yes.
Yeah.
With Buster Poindexter.
Yeah,
Yes.
David Johansen. Yeah.
Yeah, David Johansen. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. I've totally aged.
It's okay.
Aged this episode out of anybody younger than 50. Wow. Okay, my fault.
Yeah. So actually, those pinup books, though, because we didn't print that many, and I didn't keep it in print. I see them on like eBay and Amazon for like $60 or something.
Oh, very nice.
Just because it says Tim Vigil. Now I've reprinted all those in like Argo 5, Argo Comics Anthology, Sorority of Power. I've reprinted all that and had them colored because the book I did with JD was black and white. So, that art is out there, fully colored. But I guess being that it was such a low print run and everything like that, and again, it was just through conventions, I, never went to mass market with them. I guess that made it a bit more of a rarity. But then after that Comics Press book, went to Kablam and Indie Planet, and I never had to move a large amount of books ever again because they print and send them to the people directly.
All right.
Even my Kickstarter, I go through them, so they print them and ship them to the people directly. So I've never had a box spring of comics to have to sleep on or anything like that.
Lucky.
Oh, I got shelves right over there full of boxes of the latest
I
issues.
could do it with the ones that I bought, but not with the ones that I printed.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, Tom, so do you have a question?
No.
All right. So I got a softball. Who would you have play your lead character in a film or voice act them in an anime or animation? Animated film?
Me or one of my characters?
Your characters.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Like your lead character. Who would you have play your lead character or voice act as your lead character? Let's start with Mr. Fish.
Oh God, I'm trying to think of his name. I ran into him at a con not too long ago. God, he worked at Milestone. He's got that really crazy deep voice. You know who I'm talking about. Like, it's so freaking crazy deep. Like, anytime this dude talked at the con we were at, it stopped everything. You're just turning around and look.
Kevin Griveau from Underworld? No.
Man, I can't. I suck so bad at names. If y'all didn't have your names underneath you right now, I'd be struggling with it. But
well, do you remember a book he did? Is he an artist, writer?
I think he's the writer on it, I believe, if I remember right. But anyway, he's the only person I've ever heard in person that I think could get deep enough to do Virgil's voice justice. Like it really needs to sound kind of unearthly. And
yeah, Kevin Griveau, dude. He did the
but I don't know if he worked at Milestone though.
I think he did, dude. I'm pretty sure he did.
I could be wrong, but I thought he did.
Yeah, he's on Facebook all the time.
Yeah, I see him all the time too.
Yeah.
All right,
that's cool. I like that voice. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a very deep voice like this. And,
it's way beyond that. Way beyond that, dude.
Yeah.
I know, I can't.
Yeah, he's.
So Dan, who would your voice actor be or actor?
Well, actor, I guess I'd have to track down the girl working the counter at the gym. As it was modeled after her. I don't think she ever became a cop, but she could finally fulfill that by playing the character. As far as actual people in Hollywood or something, being that the character's so short, unless you go a CGI route or something. I did see some show on like TLC or Lifetime or something like that about this person with pituitary dwarfism or something. It was I Am Shauna Ray. So she's probably the right height and look to pull that off. But yeah, voice actors I don't really follow a lot. I did see that cool movie where they had the voice actors doing a live action movie because they were mad that the movie stars were taking the voice roles.
Oh yes, I got it. I own it. I forget what it's called. Yes, shit. It was produced by the guy who did the voice of Bender on Futurama.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I know.
Billy West.
No. Billy West was in it. He does the main voice. The one.
Yeah, he does Fry, right?
He does Fry. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at any rate, yeah. So I don't know who I don't follow voice acting enough to put someone on there, but those are my live action choices.
All right. Cool. John, what are your thoughts?
Off the top of my head, obviously I would pick Oliver Reed if it wasn't somebody.
There you go.
If he wasn't dead, right? But I can't think of anybody modern that's got that kind of gravitas. Maybe Tom Hardy.
Cool.
Somebody who could just become menacing at the drop of a hat. I don't know that Tom Hardy could like pretend to be a priest though. I guess he could, but not an outrageous priest like this guy in my book. So, but
no, he's really
nutty,
dude. He's really versatile. Did you watch Peaky Blinders?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was great in that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. He was a Hasidic baker. You know what I mean? He got into it, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. There's that movie he played a Russian guy in too. I can't remember. Old movie. Oh God, oh shit, I can't remember the name of it now. Not Archangels, but it was. Yeah, no, he is pretty versatile.
Yeah.
I think did you ever see him in Taboo?
No, I didn't see that.
God, show he wrote with his father. He is batshit crazy in that show. If you haven't seen Taboo, you definitely got to check it out. It's wild.
Okay.
Like the Quentin Rampage Jackson. That's funny.
All right.
DiMaggio.
There we go, John DiMaggio. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Green Lantern Burks, you're the man, bro. You're my fact checker, bro. You got this. You're the man. On Friday nights, he's there. He's always there with the assist. He's the John Stockton of the
All
program.
right, Tom, what are your thoughts?
Nobody bid on that. Shit.
So I don't really know. Live action is hard because I don't really pay attention. A lot of my references are all 20 years old. So, if I'm going to be like, hey, Critter 20 years ago, it would be completely different than who's available for that role right now. But one that did come across live action, because we've been talking about with some producers and stuff about doing a Princesses versus Zombies film or TV show or something, was Milana Vaintrub, the AT&T girl from a while back.
Yeah.
Like I saw a picture of her and she had like the short hair and it's brown, but I was like, as soon as I saw her, I was like, that hair was black. That is Mrs. White. Like she is the right age. She's got the right attitude. She's got the right hair. I was like, oh my God, that's dream casting right there. That's what I want. And I'm never going to be able to get over it. So I hope we can, somehow make that happen. But then on the other side is like with Critter, I always assumed Critter, if anything would happen with it, it would become some sort of an animated show. And the top of the list is Emma Stone to do that voice. Again, that's going back 20 years, right? When I came up with Emma, she was doing like Zombieland and things like that. But every time I hear her voice, I'm like, fuck, just make the cartoon, somebody please, so we can get Emma to do this voice, because it's perfect. It's eternal. So yeah, those are the two that kind of sit at the top of my my wish list.
I like that.
Cool. Jay?
For Shield of the Interceptor, I'm going with John Boyega, both live action or animated, doing the voice. Right? He's there. He's the right age right now. He's got it, right? And he's got his own production company. Let's go, John. Give me a shout, kid. Let's go, baby. Let's do this, brother. For Vicky, I mean, for a voice in the animated series, Linda Hamilton, she just had that tough lady voice, and Beauty and the Beast. For me, it draws the complete circle. But live action, oh man, let me do it. No trade dress here. Live action, don't laugh. Angelina Jolie. I don't know if you saw Salt.
That was good.
She was, dude. She got into a lot of roles in that. You know what I mean? And she can still bring the toughness. I don't know if there's a tough female lead right now. I don't know. This one, she's gritty. She's in your face. And she's, she's seasoned, right? Vicky's over 20 years old. So Angelina's my age, and I think she could pull it off. Plus, she still has sex appeal too. At the same,
she's got that crazy in her eyes too.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, that just comes right through the camera.
You know what I mean? 100%, bro. I'm so glad my wife is not watching. Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. And I go with Angelina Jolie, definitely. And she's still got clout. She's in her Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man 1 phase of her career right now. She's waiting to come back as a Phoenix.
So you want to jumpstart her career, is what you're saying, JD?
No, not jumpstart her career.
He wants to give her
restart
her career.
Yeah.
With a property that is unknown, that she could do what she wants with it. Enjoy, girl. I'll reap the rewards afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Georgia, Martin. He's still writing the fucking books for a movie series, a TV series that fucking ended years
He's
ago.
not writing that. Stop it. You know
Never
he's not
writing
writing
that.
it. He's not writing that. He's not finishing Game of Thrones the same way Jim Lee is never finishing Hush 2. Never will exist.
Jim's gonna
Good.
be oh, but you know what, dude? Do what you want to do with it. I will enjoy the benefits afterwards. I don't care. Listen, Hollywood, I will get raped. Give me the $50K for the option deal for the 5 years. I'll make sure the guys are taken care of. I'll be all right. I'll trade off of that when it comes out.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. It's funny. If I was to have someone voice act Oswald, it would be Peter Dinklage doing a mid-Atlantic accent.
Oh wow, you want to go there? Okay.
Yeah, I will go there.
Wow. Okay.
So,
That's a hard accent to pull off good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But he's an excellent actor, though, and I
he
think
is. But you gotta set that in like the 1920s. Would you like to buy a newspaper, sir? You know what I mean? You gotta.
No. That's that. But there's also like the Cary Grant accent. You understand where it's a lot smoother, a lot.
Yeah.
You understand, right? It's a lot.
Hey,
that's the accent.
Right.
That's the accent I would be looking for.
Yeah.
Not rough and street, but more, a little bit more high society.
Not the Cockney version of it, right? The more Great Gatsby version of it. Okay.
Right. More high society.
Yeah.
And then
he's a rat and he roach eggs and
yeah. Oh, yeah. We all have our issues.
I would lean into the fun of it all, bro. Come on, you got nice, cute moments.
Roach eggs with the pinky up.
There you go. And then for Magi, I would like Alan Richson, the guy who plays Reacher.
Yeah.
Yeah. A monster human being who hunts down monsters.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But he's just a normal guy, though. So for the most part.
Yeah. Okay. What about Magi? Grace? Who do you want to play?
That's a good question, because originally when I was coming up with her, it was Sofia Vergara.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, but but I think now she might be a little too old for the role.
Okay.
Maybe someone a little bit younger, but I wouldn't know who. But when I was
Ana de Armas.
Ooh.
Yeah, that might work. Yeah.
Ooh, you want that accent to be part of it. Hello.
Yeah, that might
get
work.
Get the little bite of her armas. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. This was a lot of fun. We made it to hour 2, so thank you so much. You guys are all awesome. Mr. Fish, where can we find you and your work, sir?
GoMrFish.com will take you to what I'm working on right now at any given point in time. And right now, that's a Green Zone trade for 69 more hours.
Way to go.
Go check it out. Give it a back.
Very nice. Dan?
Yeah, Argo Comics on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. So I have all those going. And Facebook is just Dan Sehn.
All right, cool. John?
You can find me at Lightspeed Spirit on Facebook. And you can also find me at GWP, Guildworks Productions, on Facebook. Don't go to Facebook page with my name on it. You'll hate it.
Tom, where can they find you and your work, sir?
BigDogInc.com. If you need the books, we'll be back on Kickstarter in 3 weeks with the next Legend of Oz, our Western reimagining the Wizard of Oz. That'll be the 28th, and then that'll roll us into Goth Day in May.
There you go.
All right. Cool. Jay?
UnstoppableComics.com. You can find all my social media links on the website. Then you got The Dead Princess, Vicky Sticks, Numero 2, who ends this Friday, the 13th, on Kickstarter. Check it out. The more people that back it, the more rewards everybody's going to get. So what do you can help. You can help stretch everyone's dollar just a little bit more by jumping on with us. And Friday nights, Comic Book Streamlined on YouTube at 8 o'clock with this guy and with that guy when they want to come through, and a few other guys. And we just we try to get into the comic book industry at large, have fun, drink what they're gonna drink, and bullshit with each other.
And we also have a Laser Blast segment. You know, we take 10 minutes of Laser Blast every show.
We try not to.
Very nice.
We really try not to, but somehow they find fucking VHS tapes out of the blue, bro. You know, that's why you're never gonna hit Lotto, because you found that. But you used all your Lotto magic to get Laser Blast VHS.
That's
and
okay.
A crispy box too, sealed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro? You know,
I'll grade it. It'll be fine.
Listen, one day we will get that IP, and we will put out a book just for you, Jay. We'll make you the lead star.
I hope not.
Dedicated to the Rosario.
I hope not.
And I'm telling you, you're going to end up with that damn blaster on your arm.
Bro, if I end up with that blast on the arm, I'm shoving up each one of your backsides. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for both of you mothers. And I'm motherfuckers. I'll be like, hey, come here. Let me show. See, it's easier because Tom is like 7'10". You know what I mean? So I don't gotta have him bent over. I
can sit down and do it.
I got to double you over, Calderon. You know what I mean? You're my height.
Right.
Fucking Tom is a goddamn Yeti, bro. I can.
There you go. But you know, this is the card set. Everybody
what?
Oh yeah, go single screen.
Well,
yeah. You can show it. You can show it.
There we go.
So those are the 9 cards in the set. That's the back.
No, don't show the back. Right? Make a pause it. Oh yeah, what in my mouth?
Come on.
Well done.
You gotta remember my arm.
Jay, don't do it yet. Jay, don't do it yet. No, Calderon went. Oh, he gave us a peep show.
There you go. But thank you everybody for joining us. Please, hit like, hit subscribe, share the video. But most importantly, please check out the show notes. In the show notes are everyone's links to all of their various campaigns. So go check out those campaigns, click those links, buy those books. These are very impassioned creators who are doing great work. Go check out those books. And just remember, these books do not get created unless you help them finance these books. So please, click on those links, go buy those books, all right? Thank you so much. And remember, read more indie comics, especially ours. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.